And assalamu alaikum, family. This is your brother Malcolm Flex TV from Changing the Black Narrative. And if you would like to join on to the Nation of Islam and accept your own and be yourself, please send me an email at malcolmflex19@gmail.com. And if you would like a subscription to the Final Call newspaper, you can also go to finalcall.com, because the Final Call newspaper has been within the black community for years and has changed and saved a lot of lives. It has saved minds, for example. And if you would like to hear the latest lectures and webcasts by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and his students of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, you can also go to NOI.org. So if you would like to accept your own and be yourself, I will do my best to direct you to your local mosque and nearest study group. This is your brother Malcolm Flex TV. Peace and assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, family. This is your brother Malcolm Flex TV. We are definitely live. I want to know how you all are doing today. Because we got a very, very special guest of ours, a dancing extraordinaire. This sister is powerful, very wise. You know what I mean? Very intelligent, and very good at what she does. Very good at her craft. So what I want to do before I bring her on, I want to play one of her videos that was created and produced by one of our brothers that we had on our platform before, Brother Michael X Vincent, and let her craft speak for itself. So I'm going to share my screen and allow you all to see the wonderful talent that she is. Hold on one second, family. Because I was told we couldn't hear the audio. I want to make sure we can hear the audio so we can do our sister justice. Please forgive your brother. I'm just trying to make sure you can all hear it. That's what's important. Let me know if it works. Um, Fam, we're having a difficulty getting the audio to play. I do apologize because she deserves for her art to get put out there, and if we can't really put it out there in its entirety, it would be unjust. And I would just have to try to figure out, how to be able to get the audio to do output so you all can hear it, because I can hear it on my end. But for some reason, you all can hear it. So you all can hear it. So without further ado, anyway, um, and I'm pretty sure she'll let you know where you can actually find her video. But without further ado, I'd like to bring our dear sister on, Ajah Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum. You there?
Walaikum salam, sir.
How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. How are you, sir?
I'm doing wonderful, and I apologize that we can't get the audio going. I got to figure out what's going on my end with when I share videos. For some reason, it's not is I've been having this problem for a minute, so I'm not sure exactly why it's doing that. So I got to try to figure out what's going on. But besides that, let's talk about how wonderful you are in your field in the dance area. So my first question to you is, when did you begin dancing? And when did you know that was something that you love to do?
So I actually began dancing in third grade. So I was 8 years old, and I actually started taking tap classes that was offered at the elementary school that I was at. Actually, it was located in Inglewood, and that was just a part of their curriculum. It was a tap class. I didn't know anything about tap. I just kind of pretty much got dropped into the class because I ended up moving to Los Angeles from Sacramento when I was about 7 or 8 years old. So um, the next year, the following year, my mom decided to enroll me in ballet classes and some modern dance classes just to see if I would do well in it. And I actually started to get serious with dance when I was about 14 or 15 years old. I was actually in high school in Phoenix, and I started to take more interest in it just because it just made me feel freer, I guess, for lack of better words. And for me, it was just a good outlet to um, help me better express myself. So, yeah, it's been a while for me. I'm now 30 years old, and I've been dancing since third grade.
That's a pretty long time. So what's your favorite genre of dance? Because you said you started off with tap dancing, and because I remember growing up as a little boy, I can't remember the brother's name, but there were movies of two black men. Um, those brothers were tap dancers as well, and the older brother was teaching the younger brother, and the younger guy, he had like dreadlocks. I can't remember the brother's name, but I do remember watching those videos growing up, vividly. So what is like your favorite genre of dancing?
So, my favorite genre is actually kind of hard to say. And I say that because I like a lot of different genres for a lot of different reasons. So, just to give you a smaller rundown, some of the genres that I do are ballet. I can do modern. I'm also trained in jazz, and I'm trained in tap, as I said earlier. And I'm also trained in a lot of different Afro-Brazilian dance forms. So that's including a lot of the Orisha dance movement that comes from the West African religion called Ifa. I trained a lot in that for the past 8 years. And then I've also trained in different styles of samba. Now, the reason I do a lot of Afro-Brazilian dance is because I am actually in an Afro-Brazilian dance company. It's called Vive Brazil Dance. It's based here in Los Angeles. So that's kind of where that influence started to come in my dance training. But for the most part, if I had to pick one specific dance, specific dance genre that I do the most, I would say that it's probably modern dance.
All praises is due to Allah.
Yes, sir.
And have you traveled anywhere in your career? And where has your is, okay? So first question: when did your career actually begin? And where are some of the places um, have your career taken you? And are there any cultures that you visited and you've learned from in your career?
Yes, sir. So I started traveling specifically for dance training. I got a one of the ways that I was able to accumulate different dance forms was by just traveling to different places, and I've learned from them. So the first place that I've traveled to was actually located in a small village called Toubab Diala, and it's located in Senegal, West Africa. And they have a school and a dance company there called L'École des Sables. So it's actually French. And it translates to the School of the Sand. So the reason why it's translated to that is because they have a studio that's kind of like a regular dance studio with the Marley floors, and the same thing that you would normally see here in the United States. And they also have another studio that's located outside, and it's nothing but sand. So that's uh, their main influence as to why they, of course, entitled their school name. And they're also very much rooted in connecting with the energy of nature and the energy of earth, and of course the energy of the ancestors. That's typical for like a lot of West African cultures anyway. So there they train you in a lot of contemporary dance, which is very similar to modern dance. And they also train you in a lot of different West African dance forms. And they also train you in contemporary African dance forms so that you can do it professionally. So it's not
So
just
what
we
what's the difference between contemporary and modern?
modern dance is based on um, it's a little bit more classical. So if you ever look at old um, like dance companies from like the 40s or the 50s, the 60s, you'll see a lot of different people kind of pretty much they were in a phase of wanting to play around with different types of movement using the ballet technique that they already had. So um, some people to have done that was Martha Graham. Another person was Lester Horton. Another person was um, Merce Cunningham. Those are all different dance pioneers in modern dance technique. And uh, it looks a lot like ballet, except it's a little bit more freer. It's supposed to be um, it's supposed to be a little bit more freedom of expression, freedom to express yourself versus staying in a very uh, square European based type of a technique that comes from Europe. It was their way of breaking out of that. Contemporary dance is actually very new, and it is based on uh, the it's based more so on an individual preference. So for me, when I do contemporary dance, more than likely it's not going to look exactly like the way somebody else does it, because it's kind of like a fusion of different dances based on what you personally know. So that's a little bit of a difference.
So which dance culture has the most impact on you? And also, what are your thoughts of hip hop dance culture as well?
So I would say that the um, I would say the most influential dance culture, or the most influential dance for me, I would probably say would be modern dance. And second to that, I would say a lot of African diaspora dance techniques. And the reason is because I like modern dance because I like the discipline that it takes to be able to attain the technique. I like how um, it challenges you and how it challenges your body to pretty much go to expand your range of motion when you actually move. But at the same time, I also like West African and overall African diasporic dances because it feeds you um, it feeds you the knowledge that you would need to understand yourself internally, to understand yourself spiritually, and it also feeds you to the knowledge to be able to understand how to connect with the energy around you, how to connect to the energy in nature, and ultimately how to connect to God. So yeah, I like I like both of them because they both complement what I need.
And what are your thoughts on dance as being a pillar of hip hop culture? What are your thoughts on dance and hip hop?
So hip hop is very vague. And I say it like that because hip hop is a part of our culture as Black people, but at the same time, it's it has a very complicated um, it has a very complicated history and also a very complicated way that people express it today. So I find that I like hip hop. I like to listen to a lot of hip hop. I like hip hop music. I like listening to rap music. But a lot of times I don't care for hip hop dance. A lot of times. And the reason is because nowadays, I'm sure, as we all know, when it comes to the hip hop dance, they pretty much just have us looking like a bunch of video hoes, flat out.
Go ahead, teach.
At the same time, there are dancers that I've worked with who do hip hop and who choreograph a lot of major hip hop dances, especially in Hollywood and stuff like that, who actually have very good choreography, very nice choreography. Like it brings you that swag, but at the same time, you get a challenge. You have to catch everything. They don't play around. They really dance. So it's really just it's more difficult nowadays to navigate, especially as a dancer, because if you're passionate about it, but at the same time, you don't want to go looking like the standard way that they always have most Black women looking like, then it's going to be hard for you to try to navigate how you can be a hip hop dancer, a female hip hop dancer in an industry that's always pushing you in the opposite direction. So I typically don't do it very much, but at the same time, I have done it. So, but again, it's only been with a few choreographers that I know who can actually dance. I'll say that. So, for
Wow.
example, I'll probably dance in a Janet Jackson video because her choreography is lit. Like her choreography is fierce. Like it makes you like really have to get it. But at the same time, I wouldn't do that for Cardi B. So
Wow.
that's
Wow.
yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Right. So, who are some of your influences that you look up to? Like, what artists? Like for me, like I'm not a dancer, but growing up, you know, I used to love watching Michael Jackson's choreography when we had tape VHS, and what I would do is I would literally constantly rewind the video so I could learn every single step. So now that I'm older, I like, since Mike gone, I like Usher. I think Chris Brown, in my opinion, as a guy, is one of the best dancers out there today. Jason Derulo, he's pretty good. So who are some of the people that you like, either growing up watching or you idolized, or somebody just, that influenced your passion in the world of dance?
Actually, brother, you just took it. um, so when I was getting ready to start dancing, when I was a child, when I was about 8 or 9 years old, I actually was becoming a fan of Michael Jackson as far as his dancing goes. And the reason was because his stuff is very intricate. His choreography, that's what I was a fan of. For me, I was a fan of his choreography, not just specifically his style, but his choreography was a challenge. And I liked seeing that because the dancers or the choreography, it wasn't it wasn't as popping. You see what I mean? So with him, when I started to, just do a little bit more research over time, and as I got older, I realized that a lot of the stuff that he was doing came from other dancers in the past that that he would probably study from, and the same
Wow.
influence would show up in his choreography. So, for example, in Smooth Criminal, everybody knows Smooth Criminal, but that exact scene from Smooth Criminal was from something that Fred Astaire did like back in the 40s or the 50s, I believe, maybe the
That was my
30s.
favorite too.
So
That was my favorite.
yeah, yeah, and if you look on, I think they have it on YouTube. I think they have the exact scene that Fred Astaire did, and his choreography is like just it's nice, like it's real nice, really. So um Michael Jackson, he utilizes a lot of jazz movement. He utilizes a lot of hip hop. He utilizes a lot of um, just a lot of everything, and it shows in his videos. So I always said, what, if I ever grow up and I ever, you know, decided that I wanted to dance, as a career or full out, I would like to do something like that. Even if it's not Michael Jackson's video, I want to do something like that because it's different, And I feel like a lot of times when it comes to dancers, we like to create and we like to create something new. So naturally, we had more, if we had more, if we had more stuff in, more choreography and more of a dance influence shown more in the Hollywood industry or just in the media in general, then you will be able to see a little bit more of a possibility of creativity when it comes to dancers versus always looking at the same type of music videos and it's the same type of moves and the same types of dance. And after a while, people will just get bored. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I liked Michael Jackson's choreography because I liked his creativity and it was just different. And I was always thinking, like, just imagine how many different types of mindsets that there are in each dancer or in each artist. And if we had all those different types of mindsets, all those different types of ideas in the social media world, in Hollywood, in these music videos, we would see a whole lot of different dance diversity and it would be popping. You see?
That's a big statement right there.
So
That's a big statement because it's like a lot of the moves are are kind of recycled in a sense because the same moves we seen Michael Jackson do, we see Chris Brown borrowing from, we see Usher borrowing from, we seeing this. Everybody is literally borrowing from one another, but they're owning it and making it their own. You know what I mean? And I think that's dope. And I want to share a quick little Michael Jackson story right quick. When I was little, right, I went and visited my cousins, right, the twins, Brian and Brandon, and they was in the room and they was watching Billie Jean by Michael Jackson. And this is the first time I ever seen Michael do the moonwalk, right? So we were blown away when we seen Michael do the moonwalk. We was like, oh, we gotta learn how to do that. So we was in the back room and we practicing how to do a moonwalk. And my cousin was like, the floor not wet enough. We gotta wet the floor. So he started throwing water all over the floor, right? So we moonwalking in the water. And my other cousin was like, no, no, it ain't enough water. Put some more water down. We little, right? We like 7, 8 years old. He was like, put some more water down. My cousin throw some more water. It's like a puddle in the back room. So we moonwalking in the puddle. And now my older cousin Danny walks in the room. And he said, what the hell y'all doing back here? And we look at Danny, we trying to learn how to moonwalk. And he took off his belt, like, well, I'm gonna show y'all how to moonwalk, and spanked our behind. And that was my little Michael Jackson experience trying to be some Michael Jackson. But anyways, but what I want people to understand that sister has a lot of talent. I remember when brother Evan hit me up probably about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, and was like, brother, can you put together a video compilation of her dancing? And I said, yeah, no problem. I could put that together. This was before brother Michael, and found all the videos that I could of the sister dancing. And one thing when you putting together videos and you editing, it takes details, intricate detail, and you really have to pay attention to detail. And I was putting different beats and music behind the dance movement. And I was like, this sister really is talented. And there's a lot of I don't know if the proper term is improv or freestyle, but I noticed, you do that a lot as well. What gets you into that type of zone? What gets you into that type of mode where you like, man, I'm just gonna freestyle some stuff and it's gonna be dope. What is in there in you that says, this has to come out because you're doing it as a form of expression, and it's so dope because as we're watching you mixing several different genres. You know what I mean? It's just not one thing. You mixing it all together. What brings that out of you?
So for me personally, I have to be into a state of mind that's no different than what it feels like to be in a meditation state. So, because usually with improvisation, it can be a challenge if you are, I guess, if you're trying to be too too alert, too aware, versus if you're, like if you're actually doing like a piece of choreography that's already set, then you naturally have to think about it. You have to make sure you're doing it right. You have to make sure you're in sync with everybody else. You have to, make sure you do all the steps right, and you have to remember all the little details about your arm and your finger and your leg, and you got to remember all of that. But when you're improvising, you can't think about all those things. You got to just relax and just let it just naturally go. So for me, what helps is putting myself into a state where I feel like I'm meditating. And when I'm in that state and I'm not worried about people around me, I'm not worried about choreography, if it's choreography, if I'm doing it right, how it looks, I'm not worried about nothing like that. Those times are usually the times where it can just flow. So hope that answers your question.
Do you do you ever get nervous dancing in front of large crowds?
I used to when I was much younger, but after a while, especially with years and years of practice, it kind of goes away. So for me, um, now if I hear somebody say, "Oh my God, so and so from this TV show is in the audience," then I may be like, "Oh my God," something like that. But for the most part, you still just have to remember to just relax. So again, that's something that takes practice, especially if you start doing it more professionally. But after a while, it just starts to become a habit, and it's just something that you're just able to do on a regular basis. Uh-oh. Hello? I can't hear you.
Sorry, my mic was muted.
Oh, okay.
What are some of your highlights of your dance career and some of your most memorable moments of your dance career?
Hmm. So I would say one of my most memorable moments was typically when I was working at Disney. Every year we usually with the Viva Brazil Dance Company, we always um, we participate in a parade called Viva Navidad that they have during the holidays every year. and it's held in California Adventure Park. So that specific parade is based on the story called The Three Caballeros. I don't know if anybody remembers it, but it's like one of those stories from like the 30s or something about
I
these.
think I've heard of that.
Yeah, yeah, it's old, but basically the parade consists of Brazilian dancers on out from our side of the company, and then on the other side, there's Mexican folkloric dancers, and then it's Donald Duck and Panchito from Mexico, and then Jose from Brazil. And basically, it's like a holiday celebration. So, being there is usually one of my funnest times ever. And I've done that project for about, I want to say 5 to 6 years now. We were supposed to do it this year, but of course, with COVID-19 going on, it's not going to happen. But that for me was like the most memorable because um, I know this is probably going to sound very cliche, but they really do make Disneyland, Disney World, just the whole Disney experience like it is very magical. And and I say this because usually when you're in a show or you're in like a specific performance, you don't really notice everything around you, like what the lights look like and the colors, or paying attention to the costumes and the glitz and the glamour. You're not really paying attention to that. You're paying attention to just making sure you're performing right. But when I had to actually sit out and watch it, and it was at night, I was saying to myself, like, man, this is a lit. This is lit. And it is nice. They, again, so for me, it uh it kind of takes you back to that childlike state because I never had a chance to go to Disneyland when I was little. I didn't start going to Disneyland until I started working there. So,
Wow.
that was in 2013, and I'm from, Los Angeles, California. I'm born and raised in California. I never went. So for me, that was a
Yeah,
memorial
that's deep.
moment for me. And
So, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh, I was going to say also another uh, memorable event for me was when I was performing um, with Sergio Mendes, again with Viva Brazil Dance Company, and it was the year during the Olympics. I want to say it was in 2016, and it was I don't know if you know, but Sergio Mendes is also a very um, he's an artist and a composer. He's the one that has the song "De, de, 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 de Magaleia Rojo, Brasileia do Fundo." That song, I think I
I'm
want to
not
say it's
familiar with that one.
yeah, that song. That's a Sergio Mendes song. So we had an opportunity to perform in his show and take pictures and everything like that. And of course, that was a fun experience too. So yeah.
All praises due to Allah. So, how has the Nation of Islam, growing up as a Muslim, also influenced dance and your career and inspire you to continue to do what you do? Because I think you and I think brother sister Nael's sister, she's also a dancer as well, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't really know a
Yes.
whole lot of dance. Yeah, a whole lot of dancers inside of the nation. So what kind of influence has the Nation of Islam played in your life and your career as well?
So yeah. So I was born and raised in the nation, third generation for me because my grandparents were in this too. Um, so for me, I was always encouraged to always do what I want as an MGT. I mean, I was pretty much growing up being taught that, as women of the nation, as MGT and as Vanguard, specifically, we're the forefront and we are in charge of bringing in a new world. So with that goes, uh, with that is a lot of responsibility. And naturally, that also requires a lot of making sure that we um, qualify ourselves to take on positions. That way we can actually help build the nation. So the reason why I actually chose to stay in the nation was it wasn't just because, it was kind of all I knew. Like it was my culture and that's the only thing I know and I didn't want to go in the world. It was more so because, um, number one, it was because I understood that through studying, the knowledge that we have coming from Master Fard Muhammad is a universal knowledge. And that's what studying different cultures and studying different histories from different parts of the planet that helps you to understand how consistent that this teaching is for us. So that was number one. The second reason why I chose to stay was because I wanted to help build it. Like, we are pretty much charged with not only taking our people like out of this hell, but we're also charged with bringing them something new and giving them something new so that we can stay out of this hell and not to it. So for me, what inspired me to do this project specifically, Tears of a Nation, was through study during the holy month of Ramadan of this year. And, at first I was thinking like along the lines of, how the Holy Quran sounds very poetic, and how, when you speak it out loud, when you recite it out loud, whether in English or in Arabic, it sounds like there's a specific rhythm to it. And,
Right, right.
so I was starting to get different ideas of how to creatively work with it. So, I was thinking, okay, so what if I were to dance to specific verses of the Holy Quran? And then I started to think, okay, so what if I were to dance to specific things that the minister said, or to specific lectures, or to specific subjects that he's touching on? And so uh, the song that came, it came, that's when I started to think and analyze, okay, the minister is a musician. Okay, he used to be a calypso singer. Okay, oh, wait, he has a song called A White Man's Heaven is a Black Man's Hell. So that for me was like an automatic light bulb. And it was a song that I always knew about from when I was little. I just never really paid attention to it, just because, like, oh, okay, yeah, kind of like that. But over time, when I was just listening to the song, I was thinking about how powerful the message was with what he was saying, because he's basically touching on all the different dynamics of everybody in this country, and how affected we are by one another, but we don't really, you know, we don't pay too much attention to it. So, how pretty much is talking about how, white people are and their encounter with, the Native Americans, and how white people are in in relation to Black people, in relation to, all these other different groups of people that are held here in North America, and what their relationship is with people all over the world. It kind of just made me think, what, with everything that's going on right now, specifically, not just during COVID-19, but specifically all the stuff that's popping up with Black Lives Matter, and then people just being shot, police brutality. And, since that was starting to, rise up again in social media during a time like this in a pandemic, I thought, naturally it would just make sense to throw this out there again and just say, yo, this right here, this message that the minister is talking about in his lyrics is something that we all need to understand. It's something that we all need to start to understand. And it was in the 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 choreography and the vision behind how I was going to visualize this project. It was starting to become clearer and clearer to me after his address on July 4th. So when you study,
Mm,
you're
wow.
an artist, there's really no separating the two. So even whether you're a dancer, whether you're a singer, whether you're a poet or a photographer, like, if you already have in your mind that this is your foundation, then it's not really going to leave you. So, I mean, that's pretty much how it is with me. So, yeah.
All praises due to Allah. Have you thought about going into acting and Broadway and things of that nature?
I have. And you know what? I would like to go into Broadway. I always had, I always dreamed of what it would be like to do like Lion King on Broadway, or The Wiz, or something like that. But inshallah, I'll definitely have the opportunity to do such, especially in the midst of everything right now. But at the same time, I also want to create my own artistry to, just to establish my creativity, my creativity just a little bit more. So, yeah.
Any ideas in mind? Oh no, I don't want you to tell your ideas. Somebody jack your idea.
I mean, yeah, so I'm still kind of working on it. So, But
Right.
I will say, I definitely do have other ideas, other video projects that I want to work on in the future. So I'll just leave it at that.
So you represent, especially because you're Muslim, a more modest representation of black dance culture. So what would you say to sisters, to inspire sisters who are on the opposite spectrum of where you are? You got your, excuse the expression, you got your WAP culture, they back that thing up culture, but there are sisters who really don't want to partake in that type of dance, or there are some sisters who are doing exotic dancing as well, who really don't want to live their lifestyle. They just live in that lifestyle just to make ends meet, you know. And what would you say to those sisters, and how would you inspire those sisters to get out of that lifestyle? If because sometimes mama may speak to them, or somebody may speak to them, but it just may not be enough. What are some inspiring words would you share with those sisters?
So I mean honestly, I feel like I would just be very brutally honest, and not just in a way that's very like aggressive, but as far as like the facts. Like we as believers know that, we need to make our own world, like I've said before. And, I think that pretty much goes with Black people in general. We have to make our own world. So, you know, I would say that if you start to, um, if you want a way out of this as a person who is creative, then they have to start to create their own. And so, of course, we know it's a challenge because we rely on, we definitely rely on this culture. We rely on, the American culture. We rely on our white man's jobs. We rely on the whole culture of survival. But, there is going to come a time where we can't rely on them anymore. And we pretty much just have to stick to what we know and make something out of that. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I would say. Like, you have to figure out a way to um, establish yourself and establish your own.
Praise be to Allah. Let me try to see if I can get your video up again, and try to uh, play the video. I want to see if I can be able to play it right quick, because again, it's a dope video, dope concept. So I want to see if I can play it. One second. Hold up, hold up. Let me make sure I'm muting my mic. Yeah, for some reason my audio, the output, the videos is not working right now. And
Okay.
he said I had it the first time. Okay, brother Lions of the Messiah said I had it the first time. I'm not sure when did I have it. Hmm. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm not doing right. So I want to play your video. It's a dope video. Let me see if I can get it on the second go round. But let me mute my mic again. I'm sorry about that, sis. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure why it's not playing from my laptop. Oh, he's saying okay. He's saying if I mute my mic, we can't hear. We hear when you are not. Oh, okay. That's
Oh,
weird. Okay,
okay.
that's weird. All right, thank you, brother. All right, I'm not gonna mute the mic then. I'm not gonna mute the mic. He on me too, so let me make sure. Let me make sure I get it right for the brother before he reach through the laptop on me. There we go. All right, we gonna play it.
Why are we called Negroes? Why are we deaf, dumb, and blind? Why is everybody making progress, yet we seem to be lagging so far behind? Why are we mistreated? Why are we in this condition? Stripped of our names, our language, our culture, our God, and our religion. Here in America, all of our religious training has been gotten by the preacher. He has told us of a heaven way up in the sky that we can't enjoy now, but rather after we die. But all of the years that we're living, for us there's nothing but hell, pain, torture, and misgiving. Yet the Bible speaks of a heaven filled with material luxury, which the white man and the preacher has right here, so we see. So, my friend, take it for what it's worth. Your heaven and your hell is right here on this earth. So let's check back into history, which rewards all research and tells us plainly that before the white man gained entry to the east, he was living in the caves of Europe, a ravenous beast, eating juniper roots and eating flesh raw, till God sent Moses to civilize him and teach him the law. Then, following Marco Polo, an explorer, he gained entry into Asia and Africa. From China, he took silk and gunpowder. From India, he took jute, manganese, and rubber. He raped Africa of her diamonds and her gold. From the Mideast, he took barrels of oil untold, raping, robbing, and murdering everything in his path. The whole black world has tasted of the white man's wrath. So, my friend, it's not hard to tell. A white man's heaven is a black man's hell. America, we were living in the east. By the Nile River, we were living in luxury, enjoying freedom, justice, and equality. We wore silken robes and slivers of gold. We were the wealthiest and the wisest people, I'm told. Now we are the poorest of the poor. Nobody wants us at their door. So, my friend, it's easy to tell. White man heaven, black man hell. When the white man came to America, he told the Indian, I am your white brother. He said, red man, I'll treat you the best. Yet and still he pushed the Indian further west with his white woman and firewater. Tricks and lies, he stole America. The original owner of this nation is cooped up on a reservation. So, my friend, it's easy to tell. White man heaven, black man hell. He needed someone to work the land. His back was too weak. He needed you, black man, so he commissioned Sir John Hawkins to commit the world's most grievous sin, to take a man who's born to be free and bring him down to slavery, to sell a man as merchandise, on his body put a price. Oh, my friend, it's easy to tell. White man heaven is a black man hell.
All praises is due to Allah. All praises is due to Allah. Phenomenal, phenomenal. The visuals is on point and it goes exactly with the choreography. You know, I mean, both of y'all came together and put together a phenomenal piece. You know, I love it. I have a question though. What does dance mystique mean?
So Danse Mystique is actually French.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, I have a fiend for the French language sometimes, and because I've learned it when I was in high school and had a chance to use it while I was traveling, sometimes things come to me. Yeah.
Right.
But uh, basically, it's mystical dance. It's mystic. It's mysterious. Um, it's something that you don't know. It's something that represents not knowing what you're going to get next, not being able to, you know, lead it. So I came up with the name. It's actually the name of of the series of dance videos that I always put on my YouTube and on my Instagram pages, and it's pretty much a representation, kind of like a dance diary. It's a
Mm,
representation of different ideas and um, different concepts that I'm always working with, and so um, Danse Mystique is something that I feel is a representation of me that I normally don't get to work with very much. And it's interesting because a lot of people uh, always say that, you know, sometimes I'm hard to read. Sometimes it's hard for people to understand me. And so I thought about uh, something mystical or something that's, what's the word? An enigma, something mysterious. So that's kind of where that kind of came in when I started just to kind of play around with my own, way of moving and my own ideas and just different themes that I want to um, explore more of as a emerging choreographer.
praise be to Allah. I'm glad I asked because that's definitely a dope concept, you know, and especially, um, your style, you know, and it just, I think it all goes together and blend well. All praises due to Allah. So, dear sister, I'm not gonna hold you any longer. This was a amazing interview. I definitely enjoyed it all. I wish I had a shorter clip because I would have been able to upload it straight to the software, and the viewers would have got a more refined view of your video. But those who would like to go back and check our sister's video out, um, dear sister, you can close out. Let the viewers know where they can follow you, where they can find your artwork, your dance work, you know, and just get to know you a little bit more, Sister Asia.
Yes, sir. So I definitely have an Instagram page. Actually, have two Instagram pages. One is called Asia Bintashabaz. So the last name is Binta, and then the word Shabazz, and it's put together. And my other Instagram name was Dance Mystique, what we just talked about earlier. You can follow me on those two different platforms on my Instagram, and you can also follow me on YouTube, and that is pretty much the same name. That's called Asia Bin Tashabaz as well. And on that platform, you'll definitely see the Tears of a Nation video. And I also have two Facebook business pages, and they're pretty much the same names: Asia Bin Tashabaz, Dance Mystique. So um, it was nice being on your show.
And also, before you go, do you have anything else we can look forward to?
Um, right now, I'm still working on it. It's in progress, but I will definitely put the news out there when it's more solidified, and I'll definitely let everybody know.
Okay, yes, ma'am. And you know we're gonna promote it and support it here at Malcolm Flex TV. And I
Yes, sir.
guess with that being said, dear family, we're gonna let our sister go. Assalamu alaikum, dear sister.
Walaikum salam, sir. Thank you for having me.
Oh, yes, ma'am, all the time. And again, this is your brother Malcolm Flex TV. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in, showing our dear sister some support. You know what I mean? You know, she's a phenomenal talent, and I felt, in my heart, that we should shine light on what she's doing, because she's influencing a lot of sisters around her, with her dancing, and she does a wonderful job at what she does. She just recently put out that project Tears of a Nation, and so please go and check that out on her Instagram or Facebook. You can even find it on my Facebook as well, because I've shared the video. And just go and just watch your video and support our sister. And also stay tuned for our latest shows, videos, and broadcasts in the near future, because we will be putting out more content, more projects. All praises is due to Allah. And again, we thank you all, appreciate you all for tuning in. This is your brother, Malcolm Flex TV, and we gonna see you later with this outro. Peace and assalamu alaikum.